Today is the first morning of my 2-week residency in Wales in Snowdonia at the Mawddach Residency. And I put together a little video of what I've packed, but I thought it'd be nice to start that video from where I end up. And then at the end of the video, I'll put in a little tour of the studio once I've set it up, so you can see where I'm working from. It is really beautiful here. Me and Winnie are just exploring on this first morning, walking along the beach. I'm looking forward to 2 weeks of exploring and making, and yeah, lots of possibilities. So yeah, I'll be back at the end of the video with a tour of the studio. So I have low battery on my phone. I have limited time today because I need to head to the supermarket to do like a big shop and just pack basically. So I thought I'd really quickly go through the art supplies that I'm taking on this trip so you can see what I'm going to be using. So first up, I need my supplies for collaging. So that's how I work out what I need to take. I have like lists for each type of art I want to do, so like collage, printmaking. So for collaging, I need a cutting mat. So it's quite a big one, but it allows me to do larger pieces. And then a ruler. I need this because I've been doing paper weaving. The latest video I put up is actually about that, so you can check that out on my channel. And then I need scissors, and I like these scissors. They're like the biggest scissors I've ever owned. Even though I make really small collages, I don't know, these are just my favourite to use. And then a Stanley knife, a bowl to put my archival glue in. Here is the Archival bookbinding glue. This is like an old bottle that I refill. Some white acrylic paint because sometimes I like to add little highlights to my collages, so that's why I've got that. And then we've got the collage scraps themselves. So in here is like a collage I started last year that I want to finish, so I might finish that when I'm there. And then wood engravings and monoprints. So loads of different textures that I can work with. That was why I had ink left over. These are still a bit wet, so I'm hoping I can hang them up when I'm there so they can dry. But yeah, loads of really interesting textures. So they are all the bits I'm taking for collaging. Right, so that's done. What's next? We have sketching. So I've got a pencil case with some pens and pencils in. I tend to keep it pretty simple. There's just some pencils and then some like black pens. And then we've got Winsor and Newton watercolours. I have another watercolour palette that I prefer to use, and I don't know where it is. It must be somewhere in here. If I can find it, I'll take it. For sketchbooks, I've got some around this size that I take sketchbooks on most trips with me, but I very rarely actually do any sketching. But I really hope in this trip I find the time. I mean, it's 2 weeks, so there's plenty of time to do some sketches. Then I've got this collection of tiny sketchbooks that Todd Pattison made me, and you may have seen if you saw my last vlog about my Appledore residency that I spent the day filling up one of these little sketchbooks, and these are really nice like projects to do just for the day. I think that's everything I use for sketching. I also have some paintbrushes I'll show you a bit later that I'm using for printing as well. So that does bring me on to printing. That's my phone telling me I have low battery. So first up, I've got some pegs and some strings so I can hang up the prints that I make to dry. That's important. Hopefully there's somewhere I can find to tie that string up. And then we've got my Cranfield inks. These are safe wash relief inks, and then I've got one letterpress ink as well. So I could have left some of the colours behind, but I didn't want to. I wanted a good choice of colour. So yeah, these are very important. And then I've got this Tupperware that has ink in it that I didn't use this week that I've put in greaseproof paper, and it allows me, if I ever mix too much ink up when I'm away, I can put it away and save it. So there's that. So I need to make more of these, but this is a cardboard stencil that my Woodblocks sit in for when I'm printing them. So yeah, I will make more later today, but they're really important because otherwise my prints won't line up if I'm doing a reduction print. And then that normally sits on, where is it? There. This frame. And this is just a normal picture frame that I made myself, but it sits in my press and that sits on top of it. It's the kind of thing I could just accidentally forget to take, but it would mean it would make my life very hard. And then of course we have the wood blocks themselves. I've got quite a few smaller wood blocks for when I'm outside printing. I've got a bigger maple block. My block maker, Chris Daunt, makes all of these. And then I brought a couple of English boxwood bits that are funny shapes, because I thought I've had these for a couple of years and haven't used them, but it might be time to use these because I think they'd make really lovely landscape pieces, like quite interesting shapes. Spatulas to mix the inks with and to do mono printing with. I've got a Bonefolder to burnish my prints with, slightly curved. This is my favourite Bonefolder. If I ever lost that, I'd be so sad. We've got some Winsor and Newton drawing ink to wash over my blocks so when I engrave there's some contrast. What have I got left? My printing press, this is a Pookie press. I'm going to do a video comparing this to my antique Albion press because I thought that'd be interesting, like the pros and cons of both. Then we've got Perspex and glass plates to roll ink out on and do mono prints with. I don't know why I'm bringing such a selection, but I just find it so hard to decide what I'm going to want to make when I'm away, so I just end up bringing everything. So we've got those. Paintbrushes. So I want to try and do some mono prints, and I've done mono printing for years, but I never spend much time on them. They're more about mark making and quickly using up ink, and I want to purposely make mono prints when I'm there and really like explore that technique. So these stiff brushes would be really good for that. Also, it's going to rain quite a lot, I think, so if I'm stuck inside, there's a beautiful view, and I feel like doing mono prints at the window would be really lovely. I bought this pot that Stilton came in, but I just thought then I can put, like, kind of organise my desk a bit. I don't know, I just wanted a bit of order while I was there, so I bought that. What else have I got? Oh, my wood engraving tools. That would be a nightmare if I forgot those. So, and I've also got my sharpening stone in there as well. So if you want to know more about these tools, there's a video from a couple of weeks ago where I talk you through how to use them and what they're like. I have some rags to clean my ink up with. I have some soapy water, and I have my apron because I will attempt to protect my clothes even though I get ink everywhere. I then have this roll of tape, which tape's really useful to have, but also this is how I film my YouTube shorts. Like, I put my phone in there and it acts as a tripod, so that's very useful. I have my podcasting microphone because I have a podcast with my friend B called Out of Ink. I think we've been doing it for 2 years? Yeah, or 3 years. I think 3 years now, yeah. It's called Out of Ink and it's about being an anxious artist and self-employed life. And I think we're going to need to record while I'm away, hence why I'm bringing this. I'll bring my Mac and I'll bring my iPad as well. I've got a book I write poetry in, case inspiration strikes. I've got a book I write all my worries in. If anyone ever found and read this book, they'd think I was mad. But I've been writing in it since I had started having CBT therapy, which I don't have anymore, but I had it for 11 months starting at the end of 2022. So this book is full of all the worries I've had in the last 18 months. It's almost full, and it's like a comfort blanket for me. If I'm having an anxious time, I need to write in this, so I'm bringing that. Winnie's got her coat that I was talking about a couple of videos ago. It matches her ears wonderfully. I won't put it on her now because she doesn't want it on, but I just thought when I'm working outside, she might get really cold if I'm sat there for ages, so we have that. I bought these the other day. I was in town because the car was getting fixed, and they were £9. They're men's slippers from Fat Face, but I love them because I love badgers, and I don't really know what makes them men's other than they are a bit big for me, but I love them, and Sam doesn't. He was like, what are they, when he walked back in the house yesterday, and he said I'd been ripped off, and I thought £9 was a bargain. But anyway, I'm taking those so I can stay cosy. Speaking of Sam, I feel really bad, not because I'm leaving him for 2 weeks, because he will cope without me, but because I'm taking the dog away for 2 weeks, because when you've had like a stressful day at work, like cuddling up with a dog's like the best thing ever, and I'm taking that from him. So I have put together some parcels. They say things on them like a warming fruity drink, or a sweet treat, what's this one? For a bath at the end of a long day. So if he's having a bad day, hopefully this will help him. So he's got a box of little gifts that I'm going to leave him with. I just realised I totally forgot some crucial things. So I'm taking on my residency this large roller in case I want to make large monoprints. I'm also taking a medium-sized roller because that's probably what I use the most. But as well as that, I'm taking a really small roller because I think if your roller is much bigger than your block, you're wasting. If your roller's too small for your block, it doesn't print so well. So I just like to have the right size roller. I think it is excessive, but that is what I've packed so far. And then I've got this really small, like cheapy roller that I use for monoprinting, just adding little details. The other thing I forgot was my paper, so pretty crucial to printing. I use a paper made by Zirkle that was specially formulated for wood engraving, but Zirkle aren't making paper anymore, so I need to find an alternative. But for now I have a bit of a stash, so yeah, I'm going to cut up some more paper, and I want different sizes. I need sizes to fit the blocks that I've got, but also sizes for monoprinting as well. So yeah, I've got quite a lot of paper cutting to do this afternoon. I think that is everything. But yeah, I'm going to continue packing now. I'm glad I've got this done before my phone has died of low battery. So yeah, the next video will be when I'm at my residency. And I'm excited about it, but it's like a bit nerve-wracking. I'm trying to stay calm. I've got quite a long drive to do tomorrow, so that's quite anxiety-inducing. But hopefully that was interesting, or was nice to have on in the background as you were doing something else, which is how I consume all content. So here's a quick look at the studio at the residency. So what day is it now? It's Monday, so I got here late Saturday afternoon. So there's some monoprints and the wood engraving I was working on yesterday, which I'll talk a little bit more about when I do a roundup of the residency in another video. My messy desk with all the bits on it, and then some storage underneath. I've got a drying rack that they let you use, which is really useful. I didn't expect to have that, so I don't need my pegs and string. And then this is the amazing view from the studio of the estuary. It's pretty wet today and grey, but it's still a lovely view to look out onto. And then the other artist is arriving later today, so this is the other desk. So if you're interested to hear a bit more about this residency, I'll be making a video about my time here. Yeah, I've got another 12 or 11 days, something like that. Yeah, I'm excited to see what work I make, how I find it. So yeah, if you're interested, check back. If you haven't subscribed, please do, and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I put a new video up.